Pleasure to be joined on the show once again by Saquon Barkley. Couple of games, touchdown in each, victories in each. Saquon, thanks for stopping back in. I know you're an avid golfer, and there's a saying in the game that there's no pictures on the scorecard. All that matters is what you shoot. The Philadelphia Eagles scorecard says 2-0. This was a physical, tough ball game. What was most satisfying about how you got this win in Arrowhead?
We did it as a team. That was the mindset. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. We knew we were going to have some adversity. You got to give your hats off to Kansas City, Spags, and the defense. They're a great team over there. But the goal was to come in Arrowhead and get a win, and we found a way.
You had to know, given what you all did to them in the Super Bowl and the fact that they lost week one and the fact that they were at home, all that baked into the whatever it was going to be, probably meant a little more to them, a little more urgency on their side. How did you all prepare with that in mind, given the stakes for the Chiefs Sunday?
To be honest, we just came to work the way we always come to work. You can't make any game bigger than it is. We knew it was going to be a challenge. We knew it was going to be a tough environment. It was a great environment to play in. Shout out to all the Eagles fans that came out and showed love also. But we came to work every single day and did the little things and ultimately got the win.
How was that Eagle crowd? When we were there for Monday night a couple years ago, man, they took over, and I'm doing SportsCenter, and they're all in there chanting, "Dallas sucks," and I couldn't stop laughing. Like, the Eagle fans show out wherever they go. Was it loud and proud again today?
It was loud and proud. We definitely got some Dallas sucks at the end. When Coop made some plays, you heard Coop.
Yep.
It's great, man. When you have fans like that travel, especially in an environment like this, we need them, and their energy helps us and helped us get the win today.
I mentioned golf at the top. I've covered it my whole career, and I've seen how when you win, say, the Masters, that's obviously great. What's obvious is obvious. But the downside can be that you got to say no to a million things because all these doors get unlocked because now you're a Masters champion. When you have a $2 season and you're a Super Bowl champion, the world's your oyster. What's the challenge, Saquon, about putting that in the past and enjoying the success you've earned while leaving it there and focusing on the next thing?
I'm going to steal, a quote from Jalen Hurts. You got to keep the main thing the main thing. All that stuff that comes with it is great, but it doesn't matter if I don't come out here and produce on the football field, and it doesn't matter if we don't produce on the football field. So we just keep focusing on what we do, and that's coming to work every single day, playing as a team, being detailed, and coming out, fighting and being tough, and the rest is going to take care of itself.
Right, Jalen said something like that. I'll close with this, Saquon. I asked him after the Dallas win week one, like what has most impressed him about this group's ability to do that, leave it in the past and focus on the main thing being the main thing. I suppose when you got guys like you and him reminding everybody, that's not easy, but that message is never ending, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never ending, and you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish a year before, but what you did a year before doesn't carry over. It's not the same team. We got new pieces. The beautiful thing, when you win, you have the ring ceremony, you have moments that bring you back to that, but right when you get to OTAs, it's like, you got to do it all over again. And that's a mindset that we continue to have. We're not looking too far. We're taking it week by week, but we're going to keep doing it together. We don't care what the stats say. We don't care how it looks, as long as a win in the win column.
You guys mostly do that. You guys don't lose many football games. It's been going and going and going. Congratulations on the great start, Saquon. I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck. Most importantly, good health. I look forward to talking down the road, all right?
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We played two good football teams and made mistakes in big moments, stuff that we're not used to doing. But I think we're coming together as a team, man. I mean, when you deal with adversity, it's about how you deal with it. And obviously, this isn't how we wanted to start, but how are we going to respond? So that's how we've gotten to the point that we've gotten to in our career here in Kansas City, is that we believe the work kind of puts out the product. And so obviously, we've never been 0-2. But we've had times where we've dealt with challenges before and lost games. And so I think the guys that we have in this locker room, they'll go back to work with that mindset of we're going to continue to work even harder so that when we step on that field this next time, we can find a way to win in those big moments like we have it this first 2 weeks.
Tim Hasselbeck in studio, as he is every Sunday during the NFL season, talking to Saquon about it. As you and I are processing and watching earlier, it's like, do they wow you, right? Maybe not, but it doesn't matter. No pictures on the scorecard. They just win games. How are they impressing you with how they continue to stack wins?
the NFL is a matchup league. And so when you're pretty much good at everything, good across the board, and you have a chance versus everybody. So when I say that, because they've got a really good defense. So, and at every level of their defense, they're playing good competitive defense. It was a struggle for the Chiefs today, offensively, because of that defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. And then when you flip it over and look at them offensively, they got the best runner in the game. They've got a really good offensive line, a quarterback that doesn't turn it over, is a threat as a runner, is good getting the ball to their, receivers that can win one-on-one matchups. There's good leadership. And then they've got this play that they can get to, after they get 9 yards, that's unstoppable. There's a lot to like about them, just across the board, top to bottom, in terms of who they are as a football team. That's why they're so hard to beat. Yeah,
and there's no nitpicking here. It's just that there have been teams that won a lot. The Chiefs, when they were at their peak, where they just felt like they were a steamroller and you had no chance. Where Philly, at the end of the Dallas game, you're like, all right, that's good, but Dallas pretty good. But you only have one game of context. Now you got a couple. You mentioned Philly has an unstoppable play. They sure do. Is it also ungovernable?
Yeah, it must be. Look, I've been somebody, when the talk came out about let's get rid of the play, to me, that seemed preposterous, because I feel like there's a personnel advantage to a really strong quarterback, investing in, road grader kind of offensive linemen. But, I don't know how you don't call the false starts on these plays. I think, to my count, I think it was 5 times. It was
that they ran it.
They ran it in the game. A touchdown, obviously a couple conversions. But if the guards are moving before the football moves, then it's a false start.
I think there's, and you said it, and I want to reiterate it. They've got a quarterback that can squat the house. They have a really good offensive line. But it appears to the naked eye, it's almost imperceptible. But then as you look at it in slow motion, on that one down the line, on the line of scrimmage, the goal line rather, both guards fire fractionally ahead of the snap, do they not?
For sure they do. And in a game, listen, Philadelphia won this game, but in a game
right, no
where,
one's saying they won because they cheated. Yeah, I'm just asking about that. Yeah.
No, those plays were consequential, because now from the 5-yard line, that takes that play out of the mix.
Right.
And so in a game where the Travis Kelce interception, kind of swings the game, and then you score on the play that we're talking about, that is, it has an impact on the game. I think it was poorly officiated today.
Right. Now, I mentioned the other night on the show, maybe Philly has it now, a bit of an aura of invincibility. Yeah. When you have that, it's an aura. And Kansas City had it. When you lose the aura of invincibility, then you become not just another run-of-the-mill team, but you seem beatable because you've been beaten. Where are the Chiefs right now?
I think they're that. I think exactly what you said. I think when you would face them before, it was like, oh, wow. There was no lead that was, safe. That's how you
got to be perfect.
It had to be perfect in order to be aggressive and go for it, whatever. Look, now, because last year was a down year offensively for the Chiefs. And so I think when you look at them that way and you think, look, maybe you don't have to score 40 points in order to beat them. That's not what it's been. I believe, and in fairness, they have guys that will come back at receiver. But they've been looking for receivers for a reason. They've been looking at veteran receivers for a reason. And then Travis Kelce is no longer in the prime of his career. That impacts you offensively.
Well, and you said it, Worthy out for some period of time. Rice is currently suspended, but you make the great point, whether it's Smith-Schuster, whether it was Valdez-Scantling last year, whether it was Thornton today. You're talking about guys that have been out there other places, and they're here just to see, we'll kick the tires because we got Mahomes. Right. But you get Rice, you get Worthy. Figure some stuff out, yep. I have to imagine. All right, sit tight. A significant story from Cincinnati as Joe Burrow, in a game the Bengals ultimately won, and we'll show you that highlight a bit later. Here goes down. Adam Schefter reports that images of a toe injury, a turf toe injury, are being sent to noted foot specialist Dr. Robert Anderson. And if surgery is deemed to be necessary, the timeline for him to potentially return would be months. And again, the Bengals won. All the talk in the preseason about playing these guys because you don't want to start slow. Well, they haven't. But if you lose Burrow for a significant chunk of time, where's that leave Cincinnati?
The season's over in terms of what they would hope to do. So much of what they do is based on Burrow being remarkable. And so, listen, that's not just a Cincinnati thing. You'd say the same thing in Buffalo or in Kansas City or in Baltimore, right? But with how they're structured, how much they depend on him, and how they've built around having really 2 number 1 wide receivers. Like, they're planning on having a quarterback that can play at an elite level to make them a competitor. And so without him, if it were to be the timeline of worst case scenario of 3 months, yeah, I mean, there's no shot. And I made the point to you when we kind of were hearing the news. Look, how you invest in your backup quarterback matters. With his injury history, it is surprising to me that they do not have a backup that had been a starter somewhere else. You know, we had talked about some of the names. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota is in Washington for a reason, you know? And so I think that it's a little surprising to me that Cincinnati wouldn't protect themselves with that.